A Sadie Adler single-player DLC in Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar has already expressed extreme interest in single-player DLC support for Red Dead Redemption 2 and a whole lot more. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Hazard here. Welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the single-player DLC, a Sadie Adler DLC in Red Dead Redemption 2. This is something that fans really want because, of course, we all want single-player DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2. I know making videos on this game with news and information leading up to the release, one of the biggest things people were talking about was they wanted single-player DLC support for Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, I want a lot of Red Dead Online support as well, but we do need single-player DLC at some point, and I think a great start to that DLC season, depending on Rockstar's plans, if they have a couple DLCs planned, if they only have one, or if they have a bunch of mini ones planned for us for the next couple of years, would be starting with a Sadie Adler DLC. Of course, people want to see a Dutch Vanderlyn one as well, but this video is supposed to be focused just around Sadie Adler DLC and why it also makes sense to come into Red Dead Redemption 2 because of the ending of the game and some other things I want to talk about in this video. So just to get this video started, thank you guys so much for tuning back in. I do have a gold bar giveaway here on my channel. If you guys want to win some free gold bars for Red Dead Online, all you guys need to do to enter that giveaway is subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and comment down below what you would spend your gold bars on if you guys were to win, and also check out the gleam.io link down in the description to officially enter the giveaway. So a Sadie Adler DLC. Sadie Adler was one of the coolest characters I thought in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I feel like a lot of us can agree with that. Just between when she was introduced right at the beginning of the game all the way up until the end of the game, it was awesome. She was great to have around. I had a glitch on my own game save where I honestly didn't even see her or John Marston back at my camp in chapters 2 and 3. They came back in chapter 4, so I was able to see them hang around the camp, but it was really nice doing the actual missions with her because she's such a powerful character, especially for her being a female in this time period. It's just nice to see in a video game like this. And she was in quite a lot of missions as well. She was in at least 20 missions in this game, which is pretty cool. And if you guys didn't know, just a little bit of trivia for you guys, if you as a player antagonize her enough in the story, she will actually slap Arthur across the face, kind of like how Dutch and Micah will shove Arthur if you guys harass them. So that's pretty cool. But let's talk about Sadie Adler as a DLC. A lot of people want her as a DLC character in this game, kind of like the focus is her as the protagonist. We get to play as Sadie Adler, and I could kind of be getting some Joel and Ellie vibes from The Last of Us, kind of like with Arthur and Sadie in Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, Sadie is a very powerful and iconic female character, and we know enough about her life and her own backstory that Rockstar can play around with the DLC with her. One of the things is her close ties with the O'Driscolls, and the O'Driscolls as itself can be a single-player standalone DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. And if you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comments because I do want to discuss that in a future video and talk about all these DLCs and my own thoughts and opinions on these. And you guys can let me know as well. If you guys agree that a Sadie Adler single-player DLC would be awesome, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. If you disagree, also let me know down there as well because I want to hear your thoughts and why you think it shouldn't be a single-player DLC and what you'd like to see instead or some other type of alternative. For me, Sadie Adler DLCs would be great. It doesn't have to be super long. I would expect any type of single-player DLC in Red Dead Redemption 2 to be on the shorter side because I would rather Rockstar put out more of them rather than a few major DLCs. And what I mean by that is the Sadie Adler DLC doesn't need to be 50 missions long. It doesn't need to be 30 missions long. It could be as short as 15 missions, as long as Rockstar can do a nice 3-act structure. And what I mean by this is there needs to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And for Sadie Adler and her own standalone single-player DLC, I think it would make sense after the game ends. So a spoiler warning, I'm going to talk about some things post-game. If you guys haven't finished the story, I highly suggest you stop watching this video now. This is a spoiler warning. We are going to be talking about spoilers. So at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2, when John Marston's in Beecher's Hope with his family, you have Charles Smith and then Sadie Adler. Charles Smith goes up north. I think he wants to go to Canada and start a family. Sadie Adler says, you know, hanging around isn't really for her. She wants to go down south to South America. Now, what other locations in the game kind of look like South America? Well, Guarma. Guarma's supposed to be like a Cuba, right, in that sort of game. Or not a Cuba because they did mention Cuba by name, but it's supposed to be one of those Caribbean tropical islands in the Caribbean, right? And that's not too far from South America, especially like Aruba, that's still considered in the Caribbean, but Aruba is a small island down there, and it's still, I think it's like 8 miles away from Venezuela. It's 8 miles north of Venezuela. And Curacao is right there and stuff. Guarma could be one of those islands as well. The point is that we can already see Rockstar making an effort in Red Dead Redemption 2 to have some type of tropical island and like South American feel to it. I think Sadie Adler wanted to go to like the Amazon or something, in which case Rockstar can reuse all that plant and wildlife and those tropical fauna and fauna and things like that, because it makes sense. They already have the files and they just need to make a DLC around it. And it kind of makes sense because Sadie wants to go down there anyway, so maybe it could be her failed attempt at getting down to South America and she ends up in Guarma, and Rockstar Games can expand upon that own map. Or they could do something entirely different and actually expand on Mexico, because I think players are all wondering, why isn't Mexico in Red Dead Redemption 2? You can access it and you actually can go inside some of the forts in Mexico. It's just not very detailed because, of course, Rockstar Games doesn't technically want you to access it. It's not quote-unquote supposed to be in the game right now, but maybe because of those things are already in the game, maybe they want to add them in the future. I'm not too sure. I think it's a big possibility we could see like a Mexico expansion come into Red Dead Online and just the Red Dead Redemption 2 map in general, but we won't be able to play in Mexico in the story unless we have some type of DLC, I think. And I think the Sadie Adler DLC would be a good reason to get the gang over there, especially if Rockstar has future plans of doing other DLCs, like a Dutch Vanderlyn DLC, another expansion of Arthur Morgan and the gang, some type of John Marston DLC, or even go so far as to say that there would be a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster in Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that would just take a lot of legal work from Rockstar's end, not only from the design team to actually just make Mexico and, you know, do the motion capture again if they need to, but actually using all the dialogue from the old game. If, you know, it would be too resource intensive, it would be too costly to make Red Dead Redemption 1 over again in Red Dead Redemption 2, like starting technically from scratch. Even though you have New Austin in the game, little pieces of Mexico are like visible from the other side of the map, and you do have Rob Wiedoff's voice, who plays John Marston in Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. But I think it would just be too much because Rockstar's legal teams would need to get permission to reuse all the voices. Of course, Landon Ricketts, his voice actor, has died since recording his voice for Red Dead Redemption 1. So there's just a lot been going on with that, and I don't think that's too highly of a possibility. I mean, I would love it. I think everyone would love it. I kind of thought when I heard that Mexico was going to be accessible before Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, because I covered all the news, leaks, information, and all that stuff, I thought we were going to see a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster at the end of the game. I kind of tweeted that out a few months ago. I was like, how cool would that be if we saw that? Of course, it never came true, but, you know, maybe at one point down the line, it will. So Sadie Adler as a DLC, I really would like to see it. I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I mean, besides Sadie going to Guarma, she could go to Mexico, like I said, or she can even hang back in the original part of the map and still be down in New Austin. It seems like John Marston, in the years between when Arthur died in 1899 or 1906, technically, when the gang was supposed to disband, as stated in the Red Dead Redemption 1 story, we end up at the end of Red Dead Redemption 2 in 1907, but they said it was a few years after. So John Marston meets up with Sadie, and she's a bounty hunter over in New Austin. She's hunting bounties in Pike's Basin, in Tumbleweed, in Armadillo, etc. That could be the most direct and the easiest story DLC for Sadie Adler to think about. Rockstar has a lot of room to play around with that. I think some type of Sadie Adler bounty hunting DLC that takes place in New Austin and kind of creeps its way back up into the original part of the Red Dead Redemption 2 map would be really cool, because you can have an easy 3-act story structure from that only is maybe 10 or 20 missions long. There's a few missions where it's just you're getting introduced to capturing the bounties, you're learning more about Sadie Adler than you did in the original Red Dead Redemption 2 story, and then something goes wrong. Maybe one of her bounties gets away and frames her for some type of crime, and now she's on the receiving end and she's being hunted by lawmen for something. I think there's a lot of room for Rockstar to play around with that, and I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Besides that, I mean, I'm sure you guys have your own thoughts and ideas in terms of what type of Sadie Adler DLC we could see, but in terms of when this stuff can release, Rockstar has stated that they have interest in story and single-player DLC support for Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar said that they missed out with this opportunity in GTA 5 just because GTA Online needed to take over with priority. They were devoting all their time and money to that, and they originally had story DLC planned for GTA 5, but of course, with the huge success of GTA Online, grossing almost $6 or $7 billion to date now, which is just absolutely insane. And Rockstar's new game, Red Dead Redemption 2, going to follow in its footsteps now with the biggest entertainment opening, like box office opening weekend ever. It's, you know, we're gonna see some really cool stuff in Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. But basically with GTA 5, Rockstar Games just didn't feel it was right to come out with story DLC. And honestly, looking back, I would have liked story DLC, but I overall wasn't a fan of the GTA 5 story. I much preferred Nico Bellic's adventures and experiences in Grand Theft Auto 4. I never really played the older Grand Theft Auto games like, you know, CJ and San Andreas or Grand Theft Auto 3 or anything like that. GTA 4 is my favorite Grand Theft Auto of all time. GTA 5 comes up second because those are really the only 2 GTAs I've played. And then of course Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2 and the rest of Rockstar's games really. But Rockstar Games said they missed out with an opportunity to come out with single player and story DLC in GTA 5, and now they want to fix that problem and rectify the situation with Red Dead Redemption 2. Of course, they will be focusing a ton on Red Dead Online, but remember guys, we had all of Rockstar Games Studios working on Red Dead Redemption 2 story and what we have in the online right now, and so I think it's totally reasonable to expect support for both the single player and the multiplayer now that the game's released from all these studios as well. Of course, they are all going to develop their own type of games. We have Rockstar North probably planning out Bully or the next GTA, GTA 6, whatever it's called, whatever it's going to be, right? But we should also expect some type of support for single player and multiplayer at the same time from these studios in Red Dead Online and in Red Dead Redemption 2. So that is why I think we should see some Sadie Adler DLC. I think it will come soon. Some type of single player DLC should come in the next couple of years. I don't think we should have to wait longer than that, but I wouldn't expect anything in the first half of 2019. I definitely think online is going to be the focus for Rockstar to like continue to put out their stability fixes for online and continue to actually improve the game, make it better, put out some content. But in Red Dead Redemption 1, the game released in May of 2010, and by October, for Halloween, at the beginning of October, we had Undead Nightmare release for Red Dead Redemption 2, and I would love to see that DLC also make a return in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I think that would be absolutely awesome. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about all this. I think single player DLC is very likely for Red Dead Redemption 2, more likely than GTA 5. Of course, we just don't know anything more right now about any release dates, any type of teases. Apparently, some DLC teases and leaks have been leaked. I haven't really heard much about it since then. I've been watching some of Legacy Killer's videos, but I would love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Don't forget about the gold bar giveaway. I am giving away free gold bars here on my channel. If you guys want to enter into that giveaway, check out the gleam.io link in the description. Subscribe to my channel, drop a like on this video, and comment down below what you guys would spend your gold bars on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. I'll be live streaming later tonight here on my channel, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Redemption 2 video. Adios, amigos.